What's a doula? Should I get one? And where would I even find one? If you are interested in answering any of these questions, stick around for today's video. Okay, we're going to dive right in. My name is Leslie. I am a disciple, wife, mom, and childbirth doula, and this is where I share about all things birth, faith, and family. And we are closing out World Doula Week today, and I couldn't let this week pass me by without sharing with you what a doula is. What do we do? Should you get one? And if you wanted to get one, what would be the best way to go about doing that? I want to share that stuff with you today. So let's start off. What is a doula? Okay, so a doula is a labor support person, non-medically trained labor support person who provides physical, emotional, and informational support before, during, and after birth, typically. Now, everyone kind of defines herself a little bit differently, right? Depending on background, depending on any advanced trainings, depending on any specializations. For example, some doulas have a medical background. They may be labor and delivery nurses. They may be student midwives, like working towards midwifery, and maybe doulas on the side with that. Some have advanced trainings in lactation, so they might be internationally board certified lactation consultants, or they may be certified lactation consultants, or they may do body work. They may be they may have advanced training in physical preparation for birth and things like that. Some also include advocacy as part of the work that they do because their passions are around birth advocacy. And some also include spirituality, okay? And so you have to figure out what's important for you, okay? And then your doula should support whatever that is. Okay, so you want to find a doula that's aligned with the things that are important for you, right? And so, for example, for me, spiritual support is very important. I am a believer. I want a Bible-believing, Christ-centered doula by my side at my births. That is the support that I want because I want a prayer warrior. I want somebody who's going to believe with me for the things that I'm believing for this birth. And I want somebody who's going to partner with me in spiritually in preparing for that birth, right? And so that's something that's really important for me. For other people, sometimes it is the lactation support, right? So it may make more sense for them to find someone who is has specific certifications around breastfeeding because maybe that's something that they had challenged with last time and it's something that's very important to them this time. Or maybe you're a first-time mom and childbirth education is really important to you. So having somebody who is a childbirth educator includes that may be something that's important to you. Figure out what that is, and you can find a doula that kind of specializes in that or includes that in their services, okay? And I will say one more thing about a doula. In terms of all these pieces that make up this definition, let's talk about what they actually mean, okay? So a doula is a non-medically trained labor support person. This is a person that you as a mom and your partner hire to work for you. They don't work for your prenatal care provider. They don't work for wherever you're giving birth, the hospital or a birth center. They work directly for you to help you have a positive birth as you define it, okay? And we provide support such as physical support, right? If you're having an in-person doula, this is support in helping you, or even virtual doulas help in this area to provide you with physical preparation during birth, right? With the Body Ready method training that I've done and that certification, I now am able to help women prepare much better in the pregnancy stage for birth with specific positions, with, we do Body Ready method sessions, we do balancing work, all this kind of stuff. That is something that I have gotten advanced training in it. It is a big part of my support. However, also my in-person doula services include me being there for your birth. So me physically being there to help support, help to provide counter pressure, help to provide different releases, help to provide different hands-on assistance, but also to help your partner do this as well. So I think that's a huge part of being a doula, is that a doula helps not only to prepare mom and to be there for mom, but also to be there for the partner and to help prepare the partner for birth. So in educating mom, also educating the parent, also educating the partner, in teaching, in having, doing some advocacy prep work and like how to discuss your birth plan and practicing conversations with your prenatal care provider. This is also something where a doula helps the partner and mom to really build up their confidence during the prenatal sessions in this area so that for birth, they feel a lot more prepared. This also is just helping just physically by, teaching the partner different moves, different things that they can do to help assist during birth. Also giving them, depending on how long birth is, giving them a break, if they need to take a moment to get something to eat or something like that, the doula being there to provide physical support, right? That's a big piece of the physical support. So kind of give you a picture of that. Then there is emotional support. Now, I would say the emotional support for me comes really closely tied to the spiritual support, because it's all ties in, right? Spirit and soul. And so doing that work to make sure that we work through your fears during the prenatal sessions so that you're not going into birth with fear, right? And so that's a big part of the work that doulas do during prenatal sessions, is to help moms kind of work through those fears beforehand and kind of prepare for birth in that way. And then there's also the informational support. So consider a doula like your birth dictionary, essentially. We have a lot of knowledge about birth, and if we don't have that knowledge, we know how to get it. And so we provide that to you so that you have all the information you need so that you can make informed decisions for yourself, okay? And so it's important that we as doulas provide you with non-biased, evidence-based information. Nothing in terms of like fear mongering or anything like that, like truly just providing you like whatever it is that you're being proposed. Okay, well, here are the here are the pros, here are the cons, here are your alternatives, here are things to consider, like here are the benefits, here are the risks, here are alternatives you can consider, and giving you that information and answering any questions you may have back, and also helping you to even work on having conversations around that stuff with your prenatal care provider. But that's the informational support, so that you truly are informed going into your decisions for birth. That's a big piece. I've already spoken about the spiritual piece in terms of things that we do, lactation, and lactation is another piece that most doulas have some type of basic lactation training, but some have gotten advanced assistance in lactation support. And so this can really help in the educating around lactation in advance, and also in the immediate postpartum period, and even some work at home to help mom feel comfortable in this area. Right? Now, next question. So that's a doula, right? Next question, should I get one? Okay. Well, I guess there's some considerations, and I would say the first thing to consider is need. Okay. Are you a first-time mom? Did you have a previously negative birth experience? Are you hoping to have a different birth experience than you've had in the past? Do you have fears around birth that you'd like to work through? Do you have support, someone physically there for you during labor? These are questions to kind of work through, right? The American College of OBGYNs did a study on doulas, and they actually found that having a doula present decreases your chances of a C-section, decreases a woman reporting that she had a negative birth experiences, decreases the need for pain medication. So there are actual studies that back up the effectiveness of having a doula. And so if those things are important to you, then this may be something you want to consider. Another consideration is the investment, okay? Doulas range in price based on their service packages, based on their experience, based on what they're offering, based on how many prenatal sessions they've got, all of that. Some do sliding scales based on your income. Some also, depending on if they're working towards certification or anything, or, based on need, are able to offer discounts and things like that. But I will just say that what the best thing to do is that if you have a need for one, is to start looking for one. And through researching, you will be able to find, you'll be able to see what the range is of doulas in your area in terms of price and look at that possible investment. Now, there's a website that you can sign up with. It's kind of like a registry, but it's for services for the mom. So essentially, people could give towards you, towards your doula expenses, or towards any other type of expenses that you may incur. I would say I'm going to link that down below so that you can take a look at that in case you're interested in building kind of like a registry that's specifically focused on services for mom. You could put in there for a birth doula or a postpartum doula, and people would help to people can give into that so that you can make that kind of investment. Also, health spending accounts are great for this too. I do know that in some places they're trying to work out doulas potentially being covered by insurance, but I've never even gone down that rabbit hole for myself. So I will just say it just depends on the doula that you're working with, in the area that you're working with. So ask the questions. I would say that the best thing to do is to, the next consideration is availability, right? Like finding one near you, or are you looking for virtual support? Are you really looking for someone who's just going to help to prepare your partner, and the two of you really feel comfortable going in and just having maybe like a virtual doula available on the phone, available via video chat to step in and help throughout, right? So that's another consideration, right? Availability. Do you want someone physically? Are you open to someone virtually? What's in your area? If virtual is open to you, then kind of like the sky's the limit for you. But again, I would say that if you want one, if you think that you may even want to consider one, I would recommend interviewing them, and then you'll know, right? And then when it comes to interviewing them, ask the questions around the things that are important to you, like what is their culture, what is their philosophy around birth, or what things are important to you, or what services do they provide. That will kind of knock off what those things are that maybe are important to you, right? Do they have any kind of advanced trainings in, let's say, advocacy, if that was a very big part of, maybe having had a past negative birth experience, feeling like you weren't heard. And so maybe you really want someone who's going to be a birth advocate for you there and will help you to learn and build some of those advocacy skills as well, and help your partner do so as well. Then finding someone who has that is probably important to you, okay? Now, if you're looking about where to find one, okay, you can find one. You could find one in as much as like doulamatch.com. You can Google doulas in your area. I would say if you're looking for a Christian doula, there is the Christian Birth Workers Christian Birth Workers Network. I will link them down below. Christian Birth Workers Directory. I'll link them down below. There's also the Black Christian Birth Workers Network. I will link them as well. There are sites like that are specific to spiritual, like if you are specifically looking for a Christian doula. And so I will link those down below so you have those as well. I will say that in all my births, literally, I would have had a doula for every single one of my births. I'm 2 for 3. And I have never regretted having had one. But the times that I had, the one time I didn't have one was because I didn't find one that met the things that I was looking for. And so rather than have someone there who wasn't going to align with me on the things that were really important to me, I chose not to have one. And my husband was an amazing support, absolutely amazing. And my midwife was absolutely amazing. And so, but I will say my experience with doulas has been amazing. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a doula. I'm actually a doula that hires doulas. And so, yeah, so I shared with you what I look for. I shared with you where I look for them, and things to consider. And I hope that this is helpful to you. I hope that this has opened your eyes a little bit more to what doulas actually do. I think if you wanted me to go more into like, what does a doula package look like? It really is customizable. Like everyone just does different things, but normally it includes some prenatal sessions to help you prepare, help get to know each other, build a birth plan together, do all of that, and then attend the birth, and then do at least one postpartum visit at home to debrief the birth and also help you get settled in there to give you big picture. But I am highly, highly, highly in support of doulas. However, I do also know people who've had positive birth experiences without doulas because they've done the preparation work themselves. Now, that's why it's so important for you to go through those considerations. The need, the investment, the availability, but specifically the need, okay? And figuring out what it is that you need going into birth, right? If it is your first time having a child, I do recommend a couple of specific things, and I will share those over with you in this video. So I'll see you over there. Do the things below. Thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. I hope to see you in the next one. God bless you. Have a good one. And until next time.